External devices play a very important role in performance of the I/O operations, and they have been linked with the external devices that provide a meaning of exchange data which takes place between the external environment and the computer. Now, when they are exchanging the instruction, it means that they require a particular interface so that the information can be interchanged. And this takes place with the help of a keyboard and can be done with the help of a keyboard, can be done with the help of a monitor and the other parallel devices that are being connected to it, or the other storage devices.
Now, when you look at this diagram, it consists of address line, data line, control line, IO modules. So first, let us understand what do you mean by address line, data line, and control line. Now, when we combine address line, data line, and control line, it is together considered in system bus. System bus could be defined as the combination of address bus, data bus, and control bus. Now, what does address bus does? The address bus contains the set of instruction from which domain the data needs to be passed, or from which instruction to which instruction the data needs to be addressed. Similarly, the data lines contains the information which needs to be passed between the two destination, that is from destination E to destination B. And control lines are directly connected with the IO modules, as well as the control line is directly connected with data lines and address lines, so that a proper interface can be established between the different modules that have been coordinating with each other, and we are also able to get the desired output. Now, one question that should come to your mind is, IO module is connected to the control line, and via control line, IO modules are connected to the address and data lines. Now, what do you understand by how IO module is linked to the different peripherals? Now, after getting the control instruction from to the IO modules, the IO module distributes whatever the data it has got to the different peripherals devices that are being connected to it. There are no numbers assigned. It can be n number of peripherals devices which are generic and which can be directly linked with the IO modules. Now, first, let us understand what do you mean by external device. Exchanging data between the external environment and the computer. So, what do you mean by external environment? Now, a question to you all. When you are writing a mail to your friend, does it comes in an external environment or an internal environment of the computer? Gmail is already configured in your computer, but sender A and sender B, are they also configured into your computer? It is not. It is considered to be an external environment. The softwares which you download, it can be an Acrobat Reader, your PUBG game. These are considered to be the softwares which are getting from the external environment, also known as peripheral devices which are connected to the IO modules. Now, these are being classified into three categories. First thing is human readable, for communicating with the computer user. Now, what do you mean by human readable? It is not in the form of binary language. The binary language gets converted into the form which is readable by the human being. And the example over here is different sort of keyboards, different sort of screens. It can be a PDA, it can be a laptop, it can be a desktop, and it can be a printer. Then you have machine readable. Now, in case of machine readable, it communicates with the different types of equipment that are being connected. It can be a magnetic disk or it can be a tape system. Now, what do you understand by magnetic disk? The magnetic disk is a disk where the data is being stored in the form of rows and columns. And similarly, you have tape system. Now, if you look at the hierarchy when you go into the databases, the data in the databases used to get stored in the form of micro tapes, that were small tapes which were used to take the backup. Now, when we speak of backups which were taken into the tape system, backups are classified as into two categories. One, backup when you're taking the backup online, when the user is communicating and you're taking the backup simultaneously. The other sort of backups are considered to be the offline backup, where you ask the user to get log off and then you start taking the backup. Communication, for communicating with the remote devices, it can be with the help of modem, it can be with the help of network interface card, and it can be in the form of a wired connection or it can be in the form of a wireless connections also. Now, when you look at external devices block diagram, it consists of control logic, it consists of buffer, it consists of transducer. Now, control logic is directly linked in a unidirectional way to the buffer and transducer. Control logic receives a signal from input output modules, and after executing those signals, it gives the status signal to the input output modules. It gets the signal from output module, then it will give the status to the output module. Simultaneously, this output is being differentiated or distributed to the buffer system. Now, data bits to and from the IO modules. So the data is stored in the form of bits, which are in the form of the IO module. Now, transducer is bidirectionally, it has been connected to device unique to and from the different sort of environment. That how it can be used the data to and from the different sort of environment. Now, external device interface. The interface to the IO module is in the form of control data and the status signal. Now, what do you understand by control data and status signal? It is used to control the data and simultaneously it will give you the signal status. Suppose if your read operation is being performed, the signal will be 1. As soon as the read operation is off, the signal will be 0. And similar things can happen for the write operation also. Control signal will determine the functions of that device is performing. It will be either reading the data or writing the data. Now, both read and write are considered to be very, very important function in case of external devices. Now, one question that should come to your mind is why read and write are important. Simple logic, because without reading the data, your computer will not be able to give you the desired output or result. Data are in the form of sets of bits to be sent or to be received from the IO module. Now, in the set of bits, we all are aware that computer operates in the form of binary language, and this binary data is in the form of bits. These bits can be in the form of zeros and ones, which directly communicate with the IO modules. Now, status signal indicate the state of the devices. Now, what may be the state of the devices? Either the device is ready or the device is not ready. So, what do you mean by device ready or device not ready? Let us consider the case where you want to perform a particular operation onto a particular device. Now, that device is already executing multiple operations. The speed of the device is being occupied by the multiple operations, and the address bus, control bus, and the data bus are already engaged performing the multiple tasks. Multitasking is already being done. So, in such cases, your new instruction will not be entertained and it will be called as the device not ready. Control logic associated with the device control the device operation in response to the direction from the input and output devices. Now, whatever instructions are being given by the input and output devices, the control logic converts those instructions and it follows those instructions, and accordingly the output is displayed, which has been required in the form of IO devices. The transducer converts data from electric to other form of energy during output and from other forms to electric during input. Now understand this. Transducer converts data. It takes data from electrical energy and converts it into the another energy. And similarly, it takes the data from other energy and converts it into the electrical energy during the input. Now, let us go and understand what do you mean by keyboard and what do you mean by monitor. Both play a very, very, very important role in case of your input and output devices. Now, you give the set of instructions to a computer with the help of keyboard. Now, how does this function takes place? The most common means of computer interaction is a keyboard. The input is then transmitted to the computer and may also be displayed onto the monitor. The instructions that are given by you, it may be a normal English language, gets converted into the machine language, then gets encoded, and after that it gets displayed onto the monitor. In addition, the monitor displays the data provided to the computer. The basic unit of exchange is the character. Now, associated with each character is a code. It may be a 7-bit code or it may be a 8-bit code. It all depends on what type of data you are producing or inputting. Now, International Reference Alphabet is considered the most commonly used text code. Each character in this code is represented by a unique 7-bit binary code. Thus, 128 different characters can be represented. Now, you should remember that International Reference Alphabet can represent maximum up to 128 different characters. Similarly, International Reference Alphabet was formerly known as International Alphabet Number 5, IA5. The US version of IRA is referred to as the American Standard Code of Information and Interchange, which we call as ASCII.